right, Adam Eason here. I think now more than ever, we need our laughter and our joy. You know, I personally have found aspects of the lockdown that we find ourselves in here in the UK to be quite challenging. And one of the things that has really helped me through that is sharing laughter with my friends in particular. And whether it's via social media, the telephone, or other forms of communication, what a tonic it is. I originally wrote an article on this topic a few years ago after I'd been in class teaching my college's intensive hypnotherapy diploma courses, 9 days straight, early mornings, late evenings. And those that are familiar with my college, my courses, my teaching style know that I put a lot of energy into my teaching. And we refer to that particular format of the diploma course as intensive because it's just that. It's 9 days of intensive learning about hypnotherapy, which is just the first half of the total classroom hours. And for me, the main thing that enables me to keep my energy levels high when we cram in so much information and skill development into an intensive training is being able to maintain a playful demeanor, and from time to time permit myself to be childlike. Something I'm going to be talking about in this video. And throughout my teaching, though we study hard and we are very serious when it's appropriate to be so, we also have a lot of laughs, good belly laughs, and I insist upon it because it is such a tonic and creates a far more stimulating learning environment in my opinion and experience, especially when the classroom hours are long and intense. I think a truly sober classroom atmosphere would be an endurance test for 9 days for both students and the teacher. Everyone's life has some stress in it. You know, modern living has inherent stress inducers, and especially so during the midst of a global pandemic. You know, there's no getting around it. It can be, you know, either positive or negative, where it becomes, you know, real distress. But the key to survival is how well you handle stress, and more importantly, how you can decompress. And sometimes, you know, it can be so beneficial, and sometimes you just need to laugh, and it's free and it's easy and it's so good for you. You know, of course, we've heard the adage and the old and much used expression that laughter is the best medicine. But you know, do people actually recognize how good it can be for their health? You know, several ha-ha-has a day, can they really keep the doctor away? Now, according to the medical community, laughing truly creates a positive impact on your personal well-being, and that's what I wanted to show you how it does in a wide number of varying ways. Laughter threads the needle between stress, pain, and your brain, and it brings one's mind and body back into balance. And humor can lessen life's burdens. It can keep you grounded. It can help you remain focused and alert. And in reality, how much laughter do people truly experience on a daily basis? And today in this video, I'm officially prescribing it because the health benefits are monumental. I mean, firstly, laughter relaxes your entire body. You know, it's very good for the parasympathetic nervous system, and this is the part of your body that tells you to relax, to rest and digest. And a big player in this system is our vagus nerve, and the vagus nerve passes through our diaphragm, and the laughter causes increased abdominal pressure and diaphragmatic movement, and these movements massage our vagus nerve, sending a signal through that nerve that tells our body to relax. If you've heard about belly breathing, for example, and how this helps with anxiety, laughter works similarly. Laughter boosts the immune system. It amps up the ability of our immune system to fight off infections. In particular, more specifically, it increases lymphocyte activity and phagocytosis. In other words, it calls upon your immune soldiers and gets them to eat up more of the bad guys. Whenever you have a cold, for example, maybe adding a bit of laughter in with your cough syrup will help. Laughter triggers the release of endorphins. Of course, we know that it reduces the level of stress hormones and triggers the release of health-enhancing hormones like endorphins, which are, the body's natural painkillers. Have something in your workplace, for example, that makes you happy, that fulfills you, and that makes you smile. Consider finding sources of stimuli that make you laugh, that you can access anytime and at regular intervals through your day. Laughter serves and protects your heart. Our body undergoes, a variety of physiological changes when we allow ourselves to laugh. We stretch the muscles throughout our face and our body. Our pulse and our blood pressure goes up, and we start to breathe faster, sending more oxygen to our tissues. Cardiologists from the University of Maryland found that laughter causes a release of nitric oxide that helps dilate our blood vessels and increases blood flow. And this not only sends more blood to our heart, but decreases overall blood pressure. Believe it or not, laughter can help you reduce weight. A fairly recent study has even looked into how laughter therapy may be used in the future as a food substitute, for people with stress and induced emotional eating. They postulate that therapeutic humor has a role in our endorphin and opioid systems, both involved in eating behavior. A 2015 study conducted by Bukowski, a researcher from Vanderbilt University, showed that 10 to 15 minutes of laughter burn 50 calories. So you can literally laugh your ass off. It seems like a possibility anyway. Laughter, of course, can be therapeutic. Some hospital patients with a range of illnesses, do have a go at humor therapy as a part of their treatment, and they're able to better cope with the illness and their treatment as a result of that sort of laughter jolt that's added into their lives. Children who laugh during painful medical procedures may be able to tolerate pain better. And they don't even have to laugh out loud to feel the soothing benefits. Finding something funny on the inside tends to be just as therapeutic. A slightly different direction, laughter can help reduce blood sugar. In a study of 19 people with diabetes, looking at the effects of laughter on blood sugar levels after eating, the group attended a tedious lecture. Then on the next day, the group ate the same meal and then watched a comedy. After the comedy, the group had lower blood sugar levels than they did after the lecture. And so there are inherent health benefits to even my own classes, it would seem. Laughter can also block distressing emotions. It's nearly impossible to feel angry or anxious or sad whilst you are laughing. Having two contrasting emotions in the same body, one sort of cancels out and desensitizes the other. Not only does laughter therefore make you feel good, but it also helps you maintain and keep a positive, optimistic outlook throughout difficult situations and disappointments and losses. By simply hearing a hearty laugh, our own brain begins to prepare to smile and join in with the laughing, so laughter is absolutely contagious. And it helps us relax and recharge. Laughing can actually help increase energy levels. Contrary to popular belief, laughter can actually help with productivity. It's another reason to create a light-hearted, fun environment at work. And it also helps you kind of place yourself in someone else's shoes. Laughter allows you to view situations in a more realistic and potentially a less threatening light. When you allow yourself to laugh, you look at situations with a different perspective, and it allows you to become more empathetic and to be aware of the situation at hand. It has this sort of knock-on effect as well, in relation to lots of the things I've already mentioned, that laughter helps you to be more resilient. Choosing to laugh and be resilient, and positive, teaches us to want to live and be at peace with others. And this includes our inner selves and with our current environment, in our workplaces, or when lives are slightly more usual, normal, whatever that may be in the future. It helps us build our resilience to stress and find meaning in life. Laughing inherently creates a more positive outlook that we can apply to any and every aspect of our life. Laughter has also been shown to improve memory, because it decreases our stress hormone cortisol. Cortisol can damage, can potentially cause some damage to our hippocampus neurons, which is a big part of our brain that's involved in memory. A recent study asked adults to watch funny videos and then tested their memory. Exposure to humor was found to decrease cortisol significantly, and these people were also then able to learn and recall information almost twice as quickly. So it seems that laughter is also optimal for learning, which is very pleasing for me as somebody who spends a large part of my career educating, teaching. Laughter, it generates innovation, because laughter relaxes us, refocuses us. It can help sort of widen our thought patterns and create innovative thinking. We become more sort of expansive in our thinking. Laughter is very, beneficial for our emotional intelligence as a result. It helps us become more creative and so much more. And so, laughter is also at the heart, or one way to encourage it is to create a culture in life that perhaps has a bit more playfulness and perhaps is a bit more childlike on occasions. Prior to the lockdown, at a family party, I had sort of climbed out of the bottom of a big bundle that was involving me and a group of children. The reason that I'm wearing my Dadding It sweater is for that reason here today. The children were all sort of high and buzzing on cake, and they were wielding balloons like weapons. I had a big smile on my face. It was the beginning of a balloon war that ensued. There were more bundles, lots of running around, lots of disapproving adults. There was screaming and chasing, and then a massive wrestle. And it was awesome. When I'm out playing with my own children, I see a lot of adults desperate to sort of work the childishness out of their children. There seems to be a bit of a culture of that. Getting them to sit still, to be restrained, and altogether sort of manageable. And it can be tiring when children are involved, especially if we're trying to stop the play. And when we sort of let go of the adult roles sometimes and become a child for a while, it's amazingly energizing. And don't get me wrong, I'm not just promoting anarchy here. I say this because it is healthy also, which is the aim of this particular video today. Playing and being childlike is a source of much well-being for adults, and not just being involved in mass wrestles and bundles with kids, playing with colleagues, with friends, with family members, your partner, has a huge amount of physical, psychological and emotional benefit for you. Lots of my clients, patients, do virtually nothing that they actually find to be fun or playful or childlike. When I examine a typical day or week or even an entire month of their life, it's barren of playfulness. Instead, ram-packed lives are filled with very specific commitments and things that are supposed to be productive, that there's no real time for fun, and fun is not considered important. Even when some do choose to take some time out for themselves, very often that involves them crashing out in front of the television, drinking too much, or hooking into the internet in some shape or form, or isolating ourselves or distracting ourselves and tuning out of life and the world that we live in. don't get me wrong, there's definitely a place for each of these things. But the day we lose the ability to play heartily and regularly is the point at which it's needed, more than ever. When we play, I mean properly play, we get to abandon work commitments. We get to bask in some complete freedom. No structure, just kind of creative, joyful bliss. It's wholly being engaged in the now, engaged in the experience of play, and not trying to accomplish anything. It's pointless. Ultimately, it's pointless in a good way. At a training that I was running recently, I was told something that I've been told a few times, that my style of teaching is a little bit unusual, a little bit quirky, not what they were used to, especially as they spent time, a lot of time in formal education. A lot of people that attend my courses have done so, and they're not used to that type of attitude in the classroom. Likewise, my therapy clients say the same. I always tell them that I wouldn't be able to do it if it were not fun. I couldn't run training courses or therapy sessions if they weren't fun and there wasn't some sort of smiling and laughter. We maintain professionalism. But why would anyone want to dedicate most of their adult life to doing something that they didn't enjoy or didn't have any fun doing? I mean, fun's the good stuff. That's being alive, right? Perhaps it means sharing jokes or pulling legs or dancing or singing or dressing up or kicking a ball around or doing party games, going for walks or bike rides, going to war with a group of 3 to 8 year olds armed with balloons. However you do it, playing in a genuinely, childlike fashion will ensure that you receive a wide array of psychological, physiological, and emotional benefits, as I've already said, to really kind of extol the virtues of playing in a childlike fashion. I offer you up, I want to share with you, some further benefits of being playful and childlike, in the hope that you'll start to dedicate some time each and every day where you just play and get childlike. And for the greatest benefits, play should involve at least another person and potentially be free from electronic gadgets, so you can kind of unleash your own creative abilities, let your brain roam free, unplugged and unfettered. I've already mentioned laughter, and the benefits of that. Children laugh spontaneously. They laugh from the belly. And I've already talked about all the benefits of that. All in all, laughter increases our sense of general well-being, and those who laugh a lot, do tend to deal with disease a lot better than those who are negative. Positive feelings and attitudes develop out of laughter, stays with you well after the laughing has calmed down. Childlike playfulness and belly laughs are going to contribute to an ongoing, optimistic and positive perspective that will prove incredibly valuable in a wide array of aspects of your life. The playing and acting like a child provides some wonderful stress relief, just like a knock-on benefit of laughter that I've already spoken about. The irony is that people with the most stressful lives seem to be the most closed off to the notion of actually having some childish fun and play. Childlike playing is the perfect antidote to modern stressful lives that many seem to live. To find some balance, instead of just reaching for the wine bottle when you get in from work out a way that you can return, to your childhood, enjoy some childlike pleasures. For example, what did you like doing as a child? You're never too old for those things. And it rejuvenates, that cliched expression is true. You are as old as you feel. You decide how old you behave, how old you think, how old you feel, and therefore how old you are. Age can very much be a state of mind depending on how you let it. Your brain will be rejuvenated too. Mental stimulation, as we all know, children are learning machines. They have to learn at an incredible rate, and they progress through those early years. They're often learning the most effectively when they are playing. and modern education environments have a very kind of playful attitude very often to the learning environment. The same is true of adults. Any new material that you're learning or new skills you're developing will all be learned better and more effectively when it's enjoyable, when you're in a good mood, when you're receptive and relaxed and engaged in a playful mindset. What's more, when you're playing, your imagination gets stimulated and you get your full mind engaged in problem solving and adapting to change and learning new things. And, it's helping us all to rediscover the simple life. I mean, for many of us, that's being enforced upon us currently. But for so many of us, life is complex. I mean, really complex. Yet so many personal development and self-improvement books and schools and ideals and authors all advise that it's healthy to simplify life, dispense with the unnecessary or the overly complicated facets of life, or at least from time to time. And, things that we simply don't need or that cause us worry or stress and undue concern. This is another major benefit of being playful and childlike on a regular basis. We get to enjoy the simplicity of being a child. When you truly and authentically, step into the shoes of a child once again and see through those eyes, hear through those ears, and feel with that heart, you engage with the world in a far simpler fashion and with a different focus. When you play, when you embrace being a child, don't just be an adult version. You want to properly immerse yourself in it with the same perspective that the child has, and that kind of simplicity can be really invigorating. And also, interpersonal connections will bloom. When you play, when you share laughter, when you share fun, it's a very intimate way to connect with those around you, and it naturally enhances trust and creates healthy bonds, and it develops compassion, and you develop friendships in a way that are robust and beautiful. And playing with others doesn't simply mean engaging in specific activities. I mean, it can be that, but it might simply mean that you just be playful around them, that you have a healthily playful mindset, and that this way of being can create quite natural flowing communication when necessary. It helps break the ice in certain situations. It makes you stand out in a credible way on occasions, and it can help ease you through situations that are sometimes perceived as quite stressful or demanding, and it can improve personal and professional relationships. I sort of touched upon already the fact that it accelerates energy levels, laughter, but playfulness, as I alluded to previously, one thing that I say in jest to many of my friends and colleagues is that I find running marathons and ultra marathons, or running my 9-day intensive training courses, I find that stuff a doddle compared to spending a full day having to run around with my children. They seem to have this kind of unlimited energy, this never-ending desire for chasing fun, what they consider to be fun. And the end of those days, when I sit down after they've gone to bed, and I feel that kind of healthy, tired sensation that shows you've earned your fatigue. It's a rewarding feeling. I realize that for some, it's an exhausting, potentially frustrating feeling, but it ensures that we wake up the next day feeling fit and alive. Modern adult life involves a lot of sedentary activities, such as sitting at desks, watching television, playing video games, flicking through social media, and so on. Real life activity, mobility, taking action, it's good for health and well-being. We get to be fit, it increases our energy levels, and it's a fun way to exercise. Fitness keeps us feeling younger, revitalized, healthy. We have more zest for life as a result. And those oft quoted words by George Bernard Shaw express this point best. We don't stop playing because we grow old. We grow old because we stop playing. The sort of, one of the final points I want to make here, and one of the things I want to say that perhaps I should have said much earlier on, a lot of people worry about looking silly or coming across as silly. Let me tell you an ongoing tradition that I had for a number of years. At the end of our academic year, our annual summer party for my training college, one year we had a breakdancing competition at the beginning of the night, and I went first wearing my tuxedo, for example. One year I organised for all of our attendees to be part of a hypnotherapist's Do Harlem Shake meme. You can go and Google that and see our video on YouTube. This year, or a couple of years ago, along with a couple of friends, we did our own version of the embarrassing dance routine from the first In-Betweeners film, wearing crude t-shirts. And each year when I'm there, you know, I like to dance, and I'm not a natural dancer, and you know, playing silly games and so on. And what I say is, you know, don't let others rob you of your playfulness. You know, don't let the fear of rejection or ridicule stop you from being playful. Just remember that if you do it gradually, step by step, build up, the more playful you are, the easier it gets. You know, you start to exercise it. When we become playful, self-consciousness ought to be going out of the window. And, you know, I can't tell you how liberating and freeing that is. Children are not innately self-conscious. You know, they pick that up as life progresses. They learn embarrassment. They learn self-consciousness that inhibits them. As we learn to play, we get to throw out inhibition, cast off those chains of fear that you might look silly. You know, who cares what others might say? You know, as that other often quoted expression, you know, sing like no one is listening, love like you've never been hurt, dance like nobody's watching, you know, live like it's heaven on earth. You know, this stuff is fun. You know, I'm enjoying I'm doing these kind of things, doing silly stuff. You know, if you feel inhibited or uncomfortable at the thought, then, you know, you can do things privately, but heck, you know, make it your aim to truly adopt these kinds of notions and adopt this kind of behavior. One of the points I want to make that probably won't apply to everyone that's watching this video, but it's important enough for me to want to include. When you truly engage and empathize with the role of the child, you're reminded how children think and feel. And I think, therefore, it makes you a better parent. I sometimes yearn for the days when the biggest issue of my life was that, you know, my daddy wouldn't let me wear my Spider-Man costume to go swimming in, or to eat an entire chocolate Easter egg in bed at night time, as is the case with my children. You know, a child's worries that just as real and relevant to them. When we learn again how to be a child, and subsequently we get that insight into their reality, you know, we connect better, we appreciate, we understand them better, and parent-child relationships can develop greatly as a result of this. I mentioned already it makes us more productive. When you make things more like play in general, you know, as a result, the more pleasurable, you know, you become more effective and more productive anyhow. You know, I encourage people to make their work fun, to engage a playful mindset, or at the very least, you know, to go and revitalize themselves with some time that's taken for play. You know, if you ever hit a stumbling block, a mind block, you're concerned about direction, for example, or you're feeling at a low ebb, then going and replenishing those energy stores and that vigor for life with a play break. Have some laughs, take your mind off the issues at hand, connect with others, become creative. You know, stress and worry is using up the brain's functioning that could be spent creatively solving problems and inspiring you in a forward direction. Play refreshes, inspires, lightens the load, while also helping you to adopt a healthier, more useful perspective. You know, I hope these things here today will add some dimension to your life. And if you take more time to be playful and childlike each day, you know, I hope you find some reward. You might be asking, you know, how do I become more playful? How do I return to being more childlike at times? You know, make time in your schedule that you dedicate to it, to being playful, to having some fun, whatever that may mean to you. Switch off your electronic devices, you know, disconnect from that, shake off your adult self, do something that's active and fun, you know, maybe even do something that you used to love doing, but you've not done in a long time. offer to join a friend when they go and do something, you know, even walking their dog. I mean, when lockdown is over, obviously. You know, you may offer to babysit for friends' children, or plan play dates, or set some time aside to be at the bottom of a bundle with some kids, or, you know, have a full-blown tickle fight or water fight or something. Make jokes with people while you're queuing in, you know, in the shops, while you're queuing to buy your groceries. Be artistic, watch some comedy, read something hilarious, you know. Anyhow, you can think about that stuff for yourself. There are too many benefits to ignore being more playful, laughing more. I hope that I've encouraged you enough that you'll go and reconnect with your inner child. That's it. Do subscribe to this channel. Do go visit my college website, read about our online and our classroom-based courses, check out our members area, and I'll be back here very soon. Okay, goodbye for now.